If you like this podcast and what we're doing here, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming interesting history podcasts here at Addressing Gettysburg. It really helps the channel, and it's completely free. That's the best thing. It's completely free. Please help us make our goal of 25,000 subscribers by Memorial Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharon.
Right?
No.
Oh.
We're at 20. I think. 20,500 or something. What?
Okay.
On the phone.
We have somebody on the phone?
We do. The great Louis Trott, licensed battlefield guide extraordinaire, co-founder of the Get Out of the Car tours with me and myself. Louis, welcome.
Hey, am I caller 10 for that Skinner record y'all giving away today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you are.
If you can tell us the
God
lead song.
damn, this is the best day since I got the Molly Hatchet record.
How you doing, Louis?
I'm doing all right. I've been under the weather for about a week, but I'm getting better.
It's going around. People always say that when somebody
Better
tells
this
them
week
they're
than
sick.
next
It's
week.
not true. Yeah, that's
True
true.
story.
It's better this week than next week. Next week, you've got a very busy Saturday. You are going to do a Get Out of the Car tour, our inaugural one of the 2025 season. But then also, you're going to come back to Gettysburg and join me for the recording of our July 2nd anniversary show over at the Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center. Is that not true, Louis? That was all one breath.
I was
That
really
is
good.
absolutely true.
Anyway, so Louis is calling in tonight
Thank you.
to promote the tour. Louis, tell us about the tour on April. I knew it began with an A. April 26th.
April.
Go ahead.
It goes with Easter,
Yeah.
Halloween.
Since everybody knows we're not doing as many tours in the park this year, we will do some hiking on this trip. So if you're coming, be prepared to walk. We'll walk approximately from the picnic area along South Confederate. We'll take the Bushman Farm Lane to the Slider Farm Lane to the western shoulder of Big Round Top.
Dang.
Probably get up to the road, turn north, and go towards Warren Avenue in that area. But it's
My
all about
goodness.
Laws Brigade and what they do on the 2nd of July, 1863.
Well, let me say to all of you who will be attending, have fun. That's a lot of walking for me. Too many.
Well, you know what?
inclines.
I walked the opposite way last year on the Heritage Hikes, which I'll be doing in 2 weeks. And while I'm on that walk, I'm thinking we could do this for the Get Out of the Car tour, coming the other way for Laws Brigade. I'm always thinking when I'm out there for future tours. And I said, and this was before we had the permit stuff going on. And then
permit.
I thought about it more, and I said,
I said
we're
Kermit.
staying on. No, there could be frogs if it rains. I heard the peepers a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But we stay on paths, and that's what the Park Service requires, and so we won't have any problems with this. But it's not a bad walk. It's on paths. We're not going on off road land or anything, so it's decent. But we'll stop along the way, talk about what happened. I will throw this disclaimer in there. This is not a Joshua Chamberlain against William Oates tour.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to talk about Jeff Daniels and what a great job he does, I'll field questions about it, but this is not the 20th Maine against the 15th Alabama, because there's more regiments out there, of course, and, so we're not going to stay focused on that. That's a tour in and of itself, and that's not what our purpose is this time.
Well, so while we have you on the phone and we're talking about this, I got the paperwork for the permit today, and I'm supposed to share information with everybody regarding parking and other things. So, Louis, it would be great if you would take some notes there in your notebook here as we do this, because it's going to be interesting. If we get our normal 80 to 100 people,
It's going to be a beautiful day, so you are.
Well, yes, but it's going to be interesting to see how we do with parking. Now, where do you want to start the tour at, Lewis?
We're going to start around the picnic area.
That's right. Okay, that's what I thought.
Which South Confederate, so there's parking there.
All right. Well, there's 3.
Not necessarily enough.
Yes. There's 2 of the 35 park-specific terms and conditions they send you with the permit that everybody needs to know. That includes me. That includes you who are listening and attending. And Lewis, that includes you as well, who will be our fearless leader that day. Rule number 30, in locations with monuments, permittee, myself, must hold permitted activities on the ground level. This includes the earth mounds surrounding the monument, so we can't stand on earth mounds around the monument, right? We cannot block access to monuments or interfere with other visitors, which will tie in with the parking rules here. So parking on April 26, 2025, carpooling is required. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know how we're going to do that, because that, when I had a discussion, that was not mentioned at all. But if you can carpool with people, go ahead and do it. Parking is only permitted along South Confederate Avenue. So some people like to go to the end of the tour and park and walk back. And then when they get to the end of the tour, they just hop in their car and leave. You can still do that, but the tour is ending on Warren Avenue. You cannot park on Warren Avenue. There is a volunteer day. Well, let's see here. I'll read it to you here. The picnic area parking must be left for picnic area users on a busy Saturday. Permittee must ensure all cars are parked on the right side of one-way avenues and that all tires remain on the paved road. So you are going to park on the right side of the road, all 4 tires on the pavement. By the way, Sammy, I know this is very exciting for you to be a part of this show and listen to this. But
I have a lot of thoughts on parking, so.
Yeah, I bet you do. Parking in front of monuments along South Confederate Avenue is prohibited. So that means you're not allowed to. So in other words, where there's a pull-off for some kind of parking spaces in front of, what is it, the Alabama monument down there?
Texas is down there.
Yeah, Texas is down there.
Yep.
You can't park directly in front of these monuments, because we have to let the first-class citizens park in front of those monuments. Okay? So we can't block those. Parking, let's see, blah, 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 blah.
Are you allowed to park in the picnic grove?
Nope, you cannot. No, thank you. I thought it said that here. No, you can't park there. No, it does say that. I play back the tape.
I heard it.
Those wishing to stage vehicles near the end of the tour must park on the right-hand side of South Confederate Avenue near the intersection of South Confederate Avenue and Warren/Wright Avenue. So that actually turns into Sykes a little bit before the intersection, because the Union troops there didn't want their monuments put on South Confederate Avenue. So they changed the name like before it actually meets the intersection. But it's the same stretch of road that they're referring to there. So you can park there. You just cannot park on Warren Avenue if you're one of those people that likes to park at the end. Lewis, I know you like to do that, so be mindful of that. Those wishing to stage their vehicles, blah, 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 blah. I read that already. At a safe distance from the intersection. No parking, and this is in bold, no parking on Warren Avenue, as that area will be used by volunteers for a volunteer in the park's workday. Group size and associated transportation methods for permitted activities should be planned appropriately and not exclude general park visitors from being able to access the area/parking area or block traffic. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, if you're coming, we just don't get in the way. So don't block any monuments. Don't park in parking lots, like at the picnic area. Keep all of your tires on the road, meaning the pavement. The gravel, the dirt, the grass, whatever does not count. Keep all 4 on the pavement. Just don't be a nuisance. Don't get in the way. And also, I think we're actually supposed to walk 2 abreast. Yes. When walking on park roadways, participants must walk no more than 2 abreast and stay to the roadside so as not to interfere with vehicles.
Double hard to be on the road.
What?
You're not going to
we'll hardly be on the road.
We will hardly be on the road. Yes.
Yeah. So the one thing I'll say is, just be mindful if there's other people sharing, looking at the park that day, visiting the park. We hope, the Park Service hopes that. I don't know what the weather's going to be. I know there's a chance of rain. How many people are actually going to be out there? Nobody knows, but we just need to be good stewards of the park, and that includes, don't park in the grass.
Right.
I anticipated we'd have to park along the side of the road. And the other thing is for the tour itself. I realize this is probably our longest walk. I don't know if one of the Pickett's Charge walks we did matches the length. I meant to measure it, but I never got around to it. I think this is the longest walk. So once we start going from point to point, if we could keep it together rather than have this big accordion thing where it becomes a social event in the back, and I try to wait for everybody, but I'm trying to cover as much as I can and end it where Warren Avenue intersects with Sykes. If we get to 12 o'clock and I'm by the Vermont monument over there by the road on Culp's Hill, I could end it there if need be, but I'd really like to walk down the way that Law's Brigade was going towards Little Round Top. And that, because of the walk, that requires us, when we walk, let's try to stay together as best we can.
No caterpillar.
I'm not going to run or anything, but let's, keep together. Try not to get so strung out.
Well, here's what we'll do,
so
Louis.
I can get all these different stops.
Here's what we'll do. Look, we go. When we go, we go. If you keep up, you keep up. We have distance and information and 2 hours. So we have to make the 2 hours. So that means if we have to rush up ahead and there are people that are going to be behind, it's a free tour.
Yeah, that's their choice.
Yeah, it's their choice. We can't wait for everybody. We have a permit that is only good for 2 hours. So we have to be done
what
by
time
12.
is it? By 12.
Yeah, it's 10 to 12. Yeah, I mean, there's 9:30. I'm sorry, because we got to park too. But but anyway, so we'll tell everybody in the beginning, keep up with us, but we can't hold up every stop because of the distance that we're covering. Keep up, don't trip and fall and hurt yourself in the process or in the effort of doing that. But don't be upset, don't be offended if we have to move on or start at a stop before you get there. We can't wait for everybody because of the distance and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and this is a reasonable
group. I know
group.
this is a longer walk.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but I think it's a very interesting one too, especially the different sight lines you get from that side of the field.
It is.
People don't walk down there generally.
No, they don't, and that's why it's so cool because you see it from a perspective that you never really see before unless you've been there, and most people don't.
Yeah.
Because cars don't go there. So
No.
How are you going to see what you're not seeing if you're staying in the car? That's why we call it the Get Out of the Car Tours, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Brilliant.
Rule. Thank you. Rule number 25: men must not wear baseball caps with logos on them. So if you have a plain baseball cap, that's okay. But rule number 25 does not allow.
What?
I'm just kidding. I just wanted to see what people would believe, and everybody believed it. All right, listen. So the tour is at it starts at 10. Obviously, you want to get there a little early for the parking, because parking is not all in one spot. We're going to have to be spread out, and might be stretched out for a bit. But we are meeting on foot at the picnic area or thereabouts. At 10 o'clock, the tour promptly starts, and we will move along very quickly from stop to stop. If you park at the end, remember, you can't park on Warren Avenue. You have to park at the end of South Confederate or the beginning of Sykes Avenue. And that does not include the Sykes Avenue that is on the slope of Little Round Top. So before the saddle of between the round tops, That's where you can park. You cannot park in the saddle. Warren Avenue is the road that goes up the saddle.
Can you
in
do that
between.
again?
In the saddle. You can't do that. You can't park there. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, matt@addressinggettysburg.com, and I will do my bestest to help you understand what we're talking about here. But don't let all these rules dissuade you from showing up. One rule is that we cannot collect fees, donations, solicited, or commercial activity conducted within the park. So we're going to tell you now that we hope to fund all of the Get Out of the Car tours next year, or as much of this year as possible, even though it's late in the year, through donations to the Digital History Pioneers. So go to dhpioneers.com and make your beautiful contribution.
No.
Now. Right now. Do it now.
Legit now.
Yeah. The tours this year are going to range.
Because you have time.
Scared us.
The hell was that?
Wow. Yeah, you do. You do have time. There's plenty of time to do that.
There is no time.
The tours this year do take on a larger cost than normal in some instances. So every little bit would, of course, help. Okay. Lewis, thank you very much for the call. Looking forward to seeing you in a week or 2 weeks.
One real quick final thing.
Yes.
Wear good walking shoes, but we are staying on paths. So we're not going off the beaten path. We're staying on paths, but still we're walking. Wear good shoes.
Wear good shoes. And is it too soon for ticks? No, probably not, right? So you want to bring your bugs?
Yeah. No, I've already had some.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
All right, Lewis.
They're
Thank you.
resilient bugs. I give them a lot of credit.
They really are. And you thought with all the freezing weather we had this year that maybe they would have died. The population would have died down a bit. But
I got some in March.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, we will. I'll see you on the 26th, Louis.
Yep. Hope to see as many people out there that can attend and are interested in our tour. But I thank you.
Yes, sir. I thank you very much, and have a good one. Say hi to Ashley.